folks, this is Mary. Welcome back to my channel. So this is Sunday, which means it is Swatching Sunday, and I have mentioned previously that I have many bottles of inks that I need to swatch, that I need to make swatch cards for. So you might remember many months ago, gosh, I want to say August, I did an unboxing video of a Cult Pens order. And in that Cult Pens order were many bottles of Diamine ink. And here you see before you many bottles of Diamine ink. So I have not swatched these inks since I did that unboxing video. Now some of them are bottles of inks that I have previously had a sample of. And these samples I have swatch cards for. But just to make sure that everything looks the way that it's supposed to, I'm going to make swatch cards for these bottles, and they will replace the samples that I have, theoretically, once I get around to swatching out or swapping out those cards. Because I seem to have duplicates of many of my cards, and eventually I'm going to get a handle on my swatch cards. I have been inspired by Sarah Katie's video of her organizing her swatch cards. So I'm going to get around to that any day now. I really am. I mean it. And hopefully I will make a video about it so you can see what I'm up to. But in the meantime, I am going to swatch these inks. And I'm kind of dividing them up by color so we won't have the same, like 4 of the same color in a row. I got several of each color. You can probably guess what one of them is, if you know anything about me and which kind of inks I like. But there are some different inks. And what the heck is that shadow? I don't know where that's coming from. Okay, I think I have solved the mystery of the shadow. So we should be good now. I hope so anyway. So, let's see, where should we begin? This is Diamine Steel Blue. Whoops. And I think this is one that I have never had a sample of or had a bottle of. I think this is a brand new ink to me. And I'm not sure where the name Steel Blue came from, because it's looking very green to me. Ooh, goodness, there are just shadows everywhere. We had a little family get-together today, so by the time I got home, I was all out of daylight. So we are using my artificial light today instead of the natural light. Why does that look so funky? Oh, did I forget to wash my glass nib pen? Oh dear. Dear. This must have some funky old ink on it. And I stuck the funky old nib into my brand new bottle of Steel Blue. Dear. Wow. That's what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing. And also when you don't clean your nib as soon as you use it. Gosh, I never do that though. When did this happen? But that is looking very nasty brown. Okay, so I'm going to try again and I'm going to dip. And that is looking more like Steel Blue. Okay, so this is a bad card. Whoops. So I'm just going to get rid of him. And we will start again. Okay, where was I? Yes, Diamine Steel Blue. So I always thought steel was silver or gray, so I don't know where the name Steel Blue comes from. So if anybody knows, do tell. It's looking very kind of green, very turquoisey, a turquoisey green, and it's feeling kind of dry. Goodness gracious. Which makes me think we will not get a drip. And I am correct, there is no drip. Well, it's lovely, but we shall see. We shall let him dry. If I can find a place to set him where he's out of the way and can dry without causing shadows. Let's see. I'm feeling very distracted. Some days are like that. Okay, so that was Steel Blue. Next, let's pick a different color family. This is Sunset, which is going to be an orange. And now that I have used a dirty nib, I am going to wash my nib one more time just to be sure. All right. Now, this ink was part of my plan to do some orange comparisons. Everywhere I put the bottle, it makes a shadow. There are way too many shadows. So this is Diamine, and I think I might have dipped the nib a little bit too much. Sunset. Or maybe it's just a very wet ink, which it certainly could be. I don't know. Are Diamine inks generally thought of as wet or dry or neutral? I kind of think of them as wet, but I don't think they all are. Let's see. It's one of those days. What can you do? Oh, well, that's looking much lighter than I was expecting. Let me see. Ooh, we're gonna get a drip out of this one. Wow. So it's looking very dark orange in the writing and in the drip. Okay. So we will set him aside to dry. And we will move on to another ink. Let me see, who else do we have here? This is Pelham Blue. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I might be mistaken. For some reason, I'm thinking this is one of the guitar inks. Is it one of the guitar inks? I'm gonna have to check on that because I'm not sure. I want to say that it is, but I can't remember. I think there was only one blue in those guitar inks. And it wasn't the most exciting blue I ever saw in my life. But again, I ordered these inks from Cult Pens in England. And Dynamite is made in England. Ooh, Pelham. Uh-oh. I can't write and talk. Pelham Blue. But we all know what that is. We know what it's supposed to say. But, so yes, Cult Pens is in England. Dynamite is made in England. So Cult Pens and other UK retailers have excellent prices on Dynamite inks. So that's why I ordered so many bottles from them, because I think they were giving 10% off to American customers. And then I think the Diamine inks were 10% off, so it was like a double sale. Oh my goodness, I couldn't resist. I went crazy. Which is easy for me to do when it comes to ink. Again, this one is feeling dry, so I'm thinking we're not going to get much of a drip. So I'm trying to force one, and I did force one. So we will see what that comes out to look like. So we're going to let him dry. And let's see. Who is next? Very exciting. Oh, I'm putting my finished inks over on the right, and I forgot to put Sunset over there because it's entirely possible that I will swatch it again if it's on the wrong side. So who is next? This is Cornflower. It is one of the Flower series inks, and his little label is wanting to come off here. So I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe I can glue him back down because that just looks terrible. I've already stuck him down a couple of times and he just keeps popping up there. So I think he needs some glue. Although I'm not sure what kind of glue will glue a label to a plastic bottle. Apparently not the glue on that sticker because it is just not sticking very well. Although I think these other Diamine labels, yeah, they're just labels stuck on the bottle. And I have never seen a Diamine label come off like that before. But this one is, and I've got this other ink. I don't want to show you what it is yet, but his label's coming off too. So I don't know what's going on there. Okay. Ooh, that is a very wet nib. So I think I'm just going to call this Diamine. Ooh, sorry camera. Cornflower. I'm not going to put Flower series on there. I do apologize for my camera shaking. It seems like when I use the camera over by the window, it doesn't shake, but when I'm over here at my desk, it shakes like crazy. And I don't know what the difference is. I just have a little camera stand that clamps onto the table, you know, whichever table I'm working at. So it should work the same. So I don't understand why, but I know it's annoying if you're looking at the video and it's vibrating all over the place. Ooh. Now this is looking very purple, and I would say that Cornflower is blue. Generally when I think of Cornflower, I think of blue, but this is looking very purple, and he does not want to drip. Ooh, and now it's running all over the place. It's going to run off the page. Almost. So we're going to make it drip back up, which is fun too. Very interesting. Ooh. Ooh, I'm smelling the ink. And it smells like a flower. Well, that's very nice. It's very subtle. Kind of sweet. But definitely like a flower. Huh. Oh, okay. I was trying to smell the other end of the Q-tip, which has Pelham Blue on it, and I just stuck it on my nose. But I don't smell anything from Pelham Blue. Just from Cornflower. Oh dear, yes. I don't know if that's Pelham Blue or Steel Blue, but I got it all over my finger. But no smell. But this Cornflower definitely smells, and it's very nice. Wow, I like that. I wonder if all the flower inks have an odor. I would say yes, because that's probably like their thing. Let me see. Who else do we want to do? Now here's one that I have been wanting to try for a long time. Eau de Nil. Now, I'm not sure what nil means in French, but when we say nil in English, it means zero, nothing. So eau is water, I think. So nothing water? That can't be right. So I was always very interested to see this ink. It's kind of a bluish ink, but I don't know, water of nothing? Okay, I can't get the lid off. It's on there really tight. Okay. My goodness. My goodness. I'm still trying to get the lid off. Oof. Oh, the lid is, he's not quite circular. I don't know if you can see that, but he must have gotten bent in shipping. And he did not want to come off the bottle. Ooh. I wonder if the whole bottle got squashed, because that doesn't look round either. Oh well, that's okay. As long as it's not leaking, I am perfectly happy. Let's see. So, this is Diamine. Oh, duh, nil. And it's looking very tealy. Is that tealy like a watery teal? Like a watercolor? I don't know. Gus is looking at me like I'm crazy. Let me see. I need a Q-tip. So Gus and I went to Grandma's today. And Grandma lives out in the middle of nowhere with a great big yard. And she has a dog about Gus's size. And that's Gus's girlfriend. And they are best buds and they love to run and play together. So Gus just had a great time today. Wow, this is looking much lighter than I was expecting. And it seems really dry too. It is just not wanting to come off on the card. I'm really scrubbing it onto the card, goodness. And I kind of missed a little bit too. So pay no attention to that. Let's see. Yes. He is super dry. If we can call this quality of not dripping dryness, then this one is dry. Very interesting color though. Very, very ocean. Like the endless depths of the ocean. Well, I think Gus is making going outside noises. So we'll see if I'll get around to doing any more inks before I let him out. We'll see if I can get around to getting this lid back on this bottle. Oh my goodness. Come on. I think he might get on the couch. Okay. I think the lid is back on safely because we don't want it to leak. Let me see. Who is next? Ooh, let's do this one. This is Diamine Pumpkin. Now I do have a sample of this one, but I've heard so many people talk about this ink. So we are going to swatch it from the bottle instead of swatching it from the sample and see how it looks. And I hope that spot of eau de Nil is dry. Of course, if it gets ink on the back of the card, that's no big deal. Actually, my Lamy Red card got some kind of ink stuck to it last time, so no big deal. And this is Diamine. Ooh, I can feel that camera shaking. Oh my goodness. Diamine Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Okay, now we need a Q-tip. So what is your favorite orange ink? This one is looking very light. I keep saying I'm not a huge fan of orange, but I keep seeing so many oranges that are beautiful. So perhaps I have a preconceived notion of what orange looks like. And no drip. Not a bit of a drip. So we'll see how he does. I really like Autumn Oak, but I think that's moving maybe a bit more towards the brown, but it's very pretty. And KWZ Grapefruit. Sarah over at Fountain Pen Insanity sent me a sample of that, and it is just eye-poppingly bright. It is so pretty. And it's kind of a hard color to describe. It's kind of red and kind of orange, and there might be a little bit of pink in there. Oh, I forgot to tell you what this is. This is a bottle without the cap on, but it is Eclipse. So it's looking very dark in there, which is appropriate for an ink called Eclipse. Ooh, that reminds me. Did you see the solar eclipse a few years ago? We had a viewing party at the library, and we got all of these special glasses that you could use, and we streamed the live footage on the overhead screen. It was so much fun. And I was actually outside keeping the kids from burning their retinas off, making sure they were using their glasses appropriately. And there was a gentleman there. There's a shipyard not far from the library, which is a place where they build ships, you know, giant Navy ships, aircraft carriers and things like that. He was a welder that worked at the shipyard, and he had his welding visor, and that was one of the things that NASA said was safe to view the eclipse through. So he let me look through his welding visor, and it was very cool. Ooh, this is a super dark ink that's kind of shading into blue and purple. Ooh. What did I just do? I wrote Twilight on there. It's one of those days, people. I'm sitting here talking about an eclipse, and I write Twilight on the paper. My goodness. Thankfully, I have enough cards. However, I'm going to need to make more cards because I tell you what, I am burning through these cards. Okay, let me not talk, except to say that this is Diamine Eclipse. Whew, okay. Second time's the charm. All right, where did that cotton swab go? Try this again. So like I was saying, this is a very dark color, and it's lightening up into kind of a purple and a blue-gray. But it's feeling dry. My goodness. Whew. Very interesting. Very, very dark. Now this would probably be something that people would say is a work-appropriate ink because it's so very dark. But we will know as fountain pen users and ink lovers that there are other layers in that ink besides just a dark ink. Ooh, that is so pretty. Okay. Who is next? What did I write? Twilight? Well, guess what? There's an ink over there called Twilight, so let's do that one next. Okay. Also a blue, which should not surprise you, but I am surprised. There's a Birmingham ink called, what is it? Riverfront Twilight, I think. And it's kind of a pinky purple color, which doesn't make me think about Twilight at all. I think of Twilight as, you know, a soft blue or blue-gray, but not a pink kind of color. I mean, it's kind of dark, like maybe burgundy is a better description. But I just think of Twilight as bluish or purplish or something like that. Let's see. This one is also very dark, but instead of having hints of blue and purple, this one is having hints of teal. Let's see. And he is not wanting to drip. I am squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And just not getting anywhere. But that's an interesting teal color. Let me see. I'm running out of places to put my cards. All right. Who else do we have over here? Now here is the other flower ink that I mentioned with his label that's trying to come off. I don't understand why that's happening. But aren't these supposed to be refills for other bottles? I mean, these are sold as refills, but there's a set of flower inks that have a different bottle. I don't know what that bottle looks like though. Anyway, this one I'm expecting a purple kind of ink. Let's see, I'm going to smell this one. Ooh. Again, a kind of flowery smell, but I think a little bit different from Cornflower. Ooh, I think I might have to sneeze. I tell you what, when I was at my mom's house today, I sneezed my head off. I don't know what was blooming up there, but it was driving me crazy. Diamine Iris. And she did have some irises that were blooming, and they were quite lovely. I keep threatening to dig up some of her flowers and bring them down to my house, because I need some more flowers in my flower bed, and she has lots of them. And she wouldn't mind if I dug up some of her flowers, because she has so many. I just never seem to get around to it. All right. Ooh. Oh, that is very pretty. And it's feeling much wetter than the last few inks were. Ooh, and it's kind of fading into like a light lavender color. Doesn't want to drip though. Doesn't want to drip. Whoop, bent the Q-tip. Sorry, Q-tip. There are just layers to the color there. Very cool. And I see our time is getting away from us. I am just yammering away here. Let me see if I can move things along a little bit faster. All right, who is next? Let me see. Here is Kensington Blue. I cannot resist the blues. And Diamine has many, many blues. Thank goodness. All right, Kensington Blue, which reminds me of Kensington Palace, which reminds me of Prince Philip. Did any of you see Prince Philip's funeral? Diamine, Kensington Blue. I think it is Prince Philip, isn't it? Am I embarrassing myself by saying the wrong name? I think I have the right name. I think it was supposed to be on American television very, very late on Saturday night. And I don't know if it was being broadcast here, but no, I didn't see any of it. I remember when Prince William and Kate Middleton got married, the wedding was broadcast here, but I want to say it was like 6 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Because, of course, England is in a different time zone than America. So we always seem to catch British events at odd times because it's perfectly on time for them, but since we're in a different time zone here in America, it seems like an odd time to us. Let's see. Whoa. Whoa. Super duper wet. Or I should say super duper drippy, and I'm assuming that means it's very wet. But that is a gorgeous color. Look at that. Very pretty. I need to get this into a pen immediately. Let's see. I'm running out of space for cards. Okay. We are coming into the final stretch here. Here we have, ooh, Autumn Oak. I do have a sample of Autumn Oak, but this is the first time I've had a bottle. And I do love this ink. I need to get this in a pen and write with it because I love Ancient Copper. And I need to see how this writes, how Autumn Oak writes in comparison to Ancient Copper. I have a TWSBI, what is it? A TWSBI Diamond 580 in the black, or no, I'm sorry, in the Smoke and Rose Gold. But I haven't inked it up yet. It's still in the box. So I've been meaning to ink it up with Ancient Copper. But perhaps I need to ink it up with Autumn Oak. Now I think I want to ink it up with Ancient Copper because I love Ancient Copper. But, oh my goodness, I need to get that pen out and use it. What is wrong with me? Because I have so many other pretty pens that I want to use. And Gus is looking at me like I'm insane. He says, use those pens. What's the matter with you? It's all right, puppy. Lay down. It's all right. Lay down. He loves to sit in my spot on the couch. I don't know why. The couch is all the same. But whenever I get up, he has to move over and sit in my spot. Wow, this is looking much more yellow than I remember. Wow. Huh. Yeah, I think Ancient Copper is much more of an orangey brown. Of course, I've never written with Autumn Oak, and you really can't say what an ink is like until you get it in a pen. So swatch cards are helpful to a point. They kind of help you narrow down colors you might be interested in, but it all comes down to the pen and the paper. So, wow, that just looks really yellowy, kind of mustardy. I don't know. Interesting. Okay. So I have a blue ink left and a purple ink left. Which one should I finish with? Let's finish with the purple, which means the blue is next. This is Tchaikovsky. They have a Musicians series. And this is the first one of the Musicians series that I have tried. And of course, it's blue. Why? Because I love blue. And I can never have enough blue inks. Whoops. I just got ink all over the pen. And that means it will end up on my fingers. All right. This is Diamine. And I have to tell you, when I was in the 3rd grade, my teacher, Mrs. Sharp, taught us how to spell Tchaikovsky to the tune of Mickey Mouse. So sing it with me. T-C-H-A-I-K-O-V-S-K-Y. Now you'll never forget how to spell Tchaikovsky. Oh, but it's funny, at the time, when she was teaching us that little song, I did not know the Mickey Mouse song. You know, M-I-C-K-E-Y, M-O-U-S-E. I didn't know that song. But I learned to spell Tchaikovsky by singing that song. So now I know the Mickey Mouse version and the Tchaikovsky version. And apparently you can also use that to spell encyclopedia. But I never learned that. I'm not going to try to do that on camera. But Tchaikovsky, I know. Isn't it amazing the things that teachers teach you that stick with you over the years? I also had one of my teachers, it might have been Mrs. Sharp. I think it was Mrs. Sharp. She made us learn the national anthem. which I think was very important. So many people don't know the words to the national anthem, but I learned them in the 3rd grade. Wow. That is such a pretty blue. And I didn't mean to double dip there halfway through. That's going to look funny now. But that's okay. It's still a beautiful blue. Oh, I just love blue. All right. And our final ink is going to be a purple ink, a purple Diamine ink. Any guesses what it might be? I won't make you wonder anymore. It is Amazing Amethyst, which I have never tried before. I don't think I have a sample of this, and I certainly don't have a bottle of it. So I'm very interested to see what this looks like. So let us see. Diamine Amazing. Ooh, can I squeeze it in? Amethyst. Ooh, I'm squeezing it in. It's looking like a grayish purple, sort of. I mean, I'm expecting the purple part, but not the grayish part. So let us see. Yes, it's kind of a grayish purple. Well, that's interesting. I always think of amethyst as a brighter color. You know, the actual amethyst stone. I think of it as a brighter purple. But now that I think of it, the, is it the J. Urban ink, Amethyst de Laurel? Doesn't it look very much like that? That kind of smoky grayish purple. Very interesting. Alrighty, well, I am going to give our swatch cards a few minutes to dry, and then we will come back for a final view. So I will see you in a moment. Alright, I've given the cards a few minutes to dry. Some of them are still drying, but that's okay. So, and I don't exactly remember which order I had them in, but that's okay too. So here is Diamine Eclipse. Very, very dark. I would say a dark purple. I wouldn't exactly call this a blue-black, but it's really, really dark. And I don't really see any... There might be a little bit of... I don't know, can we call that black sheen? Is there some black sheen on there? It's hard to see, but there's certainly some dark things going on in the dark area. But it's very, very dark. It's hard to see all the dark things because it's so dark. All right, who else? Here is Diamine Sunset. A very pretty orange. Kind of a... I don't know, would we call that a burnt orange? A dark orange? Very nice. Don't see a lot of sheen going on there. I don't really see much shading, but again on these cards it's hard to tell. So as always, the best way to tell really is to get the inks in a pen. Let's see, here is Diamine Cornflower. This one does have some sheen, and you can probably see... Let's see if you can see. It's still drying. Right up here. I don't think I can get that in the light, but it's not quite dry yet. But it does have some reddish sheen. Ooh, well. Sometimes it looks red and sometimes it looks gold. Well, that's very interesting. I mean, my first instinct was to say red, but that's kind of looking gold. Very interesting. I was just thinking the other day, why do blue inks always seem to have red sheen? So this apparently is one that does not have red sheen. Okay, so where did we go next? I'm trying to remember. Let me see. Here is Diamine Steel Blue. And this is very green looking to me. Very turquoisey green. And it does have some red sheen. Very pretty. And since I've got this one right here, here is Eau de Nil, which is kind of similar, sort of. It's a much paler ink, a much less saturated ink, but kind of a turquoisey teal. And it does have a little bit of red sheen. I don't know if we can see that, but I thought they might be interesting to compare. So he's looking a bit bluer and he's looking a bit greener, but kind of in the teal category. And somebody just fell on the floor. Who was that? I don't know where it went. Oh dear. And my office chair is on rollers. I just know if I roll backwards, I'm going to roll over the card. Oh, I see it. Well, who is this naughty card? This is Diamine Tchaikovsky. And he also is still drying. But he's got some red sheen going on there. Can we see that? Yeah, down in this area, it's looking very reddish. And then, of course, some sheen on the drips. Very interesting. Very pretty. And here is Dynamite Pumpkin. This is a bright orange, but it's lighter than the other oranges. And if I had to pick an orange, I don't think I would pick this one. I like Sunset better. It's a, I don't know, a deeper orange. A more forceful orange. But pumpkin is very nice. Again, you really need to get these in a pen to see if you like the way they write. Alrighty. Here is Diamine Iris. A very nice purple. And it looks like it has some greenish sheen. Still kind of drying a little bit in the drippy areas. But they are definitely having some green sheen. Very pretty. It's a very soft looking purple. And it's looking bluer in person, kind of a more lavender color. It's showing up a bit redder on camera, but very nice. And I do like the aroma of these flower inks. Let me see. I have totally forgotten the order of these inks, but it doesn't matter. Here is Diamine Pelham Blue. Kind of a tealy blue with some nice red sheen. Very pretty. Right up my alley. And maybe a hint of shading on the writing. Just a hint. Very nice. Here is Diamine Autumn Oak. It's looking much more yellow than I remember. Much more mustardy. And I was remembering, I don't know, kind of an orangey brown. It's very pretty though. I do like it. And we're running out of space. Here is Diamine Twilight. Very dark teal. Whereas Eclipse was more of a dark purple looking ink. Twilight is more of a teal looking ink. And there's a hint of some red sheen on the Twilight. And I want to say there's some black sheen on the Eclipse maybe, but it's very hard to see. Do we have room for everybody? Who do we have left? Here is Diamine Amazing Amethyst. Very nice, very soft purple. And it does have a hint of some green sheen around the edges there. Can we see that? Not very well. It's very faint. So I wouldn't say this is a big sheener, but there's just a hint there. Makes it a little interesting, but a very pretty purple. And, whew, I think I need to, can I back out? No, I can't. I'm already backed out. Let's see. Cameras. They're meant to drive us insane. Can I raise it up a little bit? Ooh, that's better. Okay. So we're kind of seeing everybody, but there's one more to go. One more? Is that right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All right, this is Diamine Kensington Blue, a very pretty royal blue with the teeniest hint of red sheen. Just a hint, but such a pretty blue. I really like that. And I'm going to put him right in the middle there. All right, well, this was quite a haul of inks. And if you will remember, also in that order, I ordered several bottles of Robert Oster inks to add to my very small collection of Robert Oster inks. So perhaps I will swatch those next time. Because, again, these inks have just been sitting in the box waiting for me to do something with them. And I haven't used any of them yet, and I would love to use those Robert Oster inks. So stay tuned until next time, and we'll see if we can get those swatched as well. So I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.